Everybody, it's Goots' Wrestling Pod. That's what they call Disney Pod again. I am your host, Ray Goots, and today we are finally in the year 1988. We're going to be spending like 2 months in 1980, and we kicked it all off with the Bunkhouse Stampede. And what a fucking abomination of a show!
Wow, what a
I
terrible
think
way to
this was
start
the worst show.
1988. A terrible way to start 1988. Yeah.
This somehow, even though this show was only 2 hours, this was worse than the 4-hour Starrcade '86.
Ray, I normally I very rarely get annoyed or mad at you while I'm doing this podcast. This show, I was legit fucking annoyed with you that I had to watch this garbage because of you. Right? I was because most times it's somewhat enjoyable. I did not enjoy this.
There was
I
not
don't
a
think at
single.
all.
There was not a single good match on. I think the only match that I would say, if I had to pick a best match, was Flair Hawk. By the way, my shirt this week is Ric Flair's 70th birthday shirt.
How old is Ric Flair?
He's 74 now, 73, 74.
Oh, so this was from 4 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, there was for I guess no one bought it because a year later it was $5. It was right before COVID. It was $5 on WWE.com.
What's in the 70? Like little faces?
Oh, like diamonds. You know how you go diamonds forever and
diamonds.
sells Ric Flair?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Diamonds are forever, and so is Ric Flair, yes.
Yeah, but so I'm trying to every pay-per-view. So even though he's not on it, this is his birthday shirt. So if you ever want to celebrate Ric Flair's birthday, wear this shirt.
I mean, I would consider that a Ric Flair shirt because
it's
Ric
shirt.
Flair
It's
shirt. Yeah. So that still
counts. Happy birthday, Ric Flair.
Yeah, that still counts. Absolutely, dude.
I like it. I like it, but I don't. Why do I want a 70-year-old Ric Flair on my shirt? I'd rather just have this 70 to represent him.
Yeah, that makes sense too. Do you have any other Ric Flair shirts?
But fucking I would say, and even that match was god awful. I mean,
I didn't think that match was bad actually, but we can discuss that. But do you have any other Ric Flair shirts?
I wore one a few weeks ago. I only have two, but I have a Ric Flair chalk line jacket, which I don't know why I bought it. Whenever I buy it, people laugh at me. It's
whenever you wear it,
it's based off his red robe, but it's like a fucking windbreaker jacket. So you have that design of the robe and Nature Boy in the back. I remember I wore it once at Caroline's, and one of the comedians you look like a drug dealer.
I would like to see this jacket.
I'll wear it. I'll wear it at the hospital.
The next pay-per-view we do with Ric Flair, can you wear it?
Yeah, I'll wear it. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see the jacket.
There's not going to be another show.
So so this was the next time they tried pay-per-view, and they got a little bit aggressive. They decided to go into Vince's territory. So Vince hit up the cable companies again. The cable company was like, "You're not going to keep scamming us. We're going to make money with both companies. Go fuck yourself, right? You're not going to keep, you know what I mean? You can't keep pressuring us to not work with other people."
The cable companies told this to Vince McMahon, saying, "This is
you can't keep that round, but we're gonna."
Yeah, you cannot keep bullying us. We want to make money from both companies. Yes.
And so he went and created the Royal Rumble, and the first episode, the first year, was for free on the USA Network, which we're gonna watch next week. And I gotta tell you, if this was really so now Vince can't fuck with us. We're gonna go all out. If this was what they thought would be good competition, they should be ashamed of themselves. No wonder they went under. What a fucking abomination of a show.
This was terrible. Yeah.
You know how I know the Bunkhouse Stampede is not a good idea? I've never met anyone that has any nostalgia for it, that is ever they should put this in a video game, that is ever they should bring this back. No company. I guess AEW or TNA could probably do this match, right? They could probably just do it. And no one's even attempted. But
I don't even like the name Bunkhouse Stampede. It doesn't sound appealing to me at all.
A bunkhouse was where cowboys would if you were a cowboy and you're going from place to place to do freelance work around farms.
Oh, believe me, I remember this because in one of the fucking Starrcades we had some fucking shitty wrestler jobber in a cowboy suit sitting around a campfire explaining what a bunkhouse was.
Oh, okay.
It was unappealing then. It's unappealing now.
It's just so it's not even modern Southern. It's this is 1950s Southern bullshit in the
It's,
80s.
I would say it's even way past that. It's just like a really old, like there's. Do you ever
Yeah,
read
like pre
like
World War One
yeah, like
Western bullshit.
you're a big comic book fan, right?
Yeah.
So I remember reading the trade paperback for the Spider-Man crossover called I think it was called like the Round Robin or something like that. It had like Moon Knight in it and shit like that. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
So the guy, one of the editors or one of the writers, he like, they do the forward in the trade talking about it, how they came with this idea. And he goes like, I have no idea why we called this the round robin because it had makes no sense at all. This has nothing to do with that. Round robin is some kind of like sports tournament term, right? But it had nothing to do with this at all. But somebody, the writer or something, kept pushing that term. Like he really loved the word round robin. He really wanted to use it. So we just like let him use it.
That's
That's the feeling I get for Bunkhouse. I feel like
that's
they just like Dusty Rhodes just loves the word
yes.
bunkhouse and he just wants to use it. It's stupid.
You know what this show felt to me like? This show felt to me like Dusty didn't care about the company. He didn't care about getting anyone over. He just wanted to win this match. And that's all he cared about.
Yes.
And nothing else mattered. And I'm fucking glad because everyone says how great 89 is in NWA, and that's the year he goes to WWF. They should be grateful they got rid of him because this is just the pits. This is
Dusty Rhodes was born in 1945, so maybe when he was like 6 years old, like he had some kind of weird experience with a bunkhouse, and he was like, I really like bunkhouse. I really like that word. I want to be like the hero or the king of the bunkhouse, and I think that's where this concept started.
He got molested by some guy in gold makeup.
Yeah, probably. This bunkhouse is like, I think I looked this up. There's been like I think four, right?
There's been a ton on house shows. This was the only one on pay-per-view. They never did this ever again.
Four Bunkhouse Stampede winners: 1985, 1986, 1987, 1988, all won by Dusty Rhodes.
But also they would do unofficial ones on the house shows.
Okay, yeah. No, I think like it's like a tournament, like built. I have no idea. I actually
listen. I know Dusty Rhodes won. This is like if Vince McMahon booked himself to win the Royal Rumble every year.
Yeah. He basically did. The point is that Dusty Rhodes won all. He loved Bunkhouse. Which the terrible fucking like. I think this is a terrible legacy for him to lose. Thank God
this is like I don't understand why you get to New York City in 1988, all right, and this is the show you give them. This is so Southern. This is so like just nothing about this would appeal to me as a kid because I was 7 when this pay-per-view happened. Nothing about this show would be appealing to me as a fucking kid. I don't see like people our age being like, oh, let's go see this show. There's nothing about this that's appealing to New Yorkers. Like, why would you think? Because this was a huge bomb. And also, this is the other thing.
This was a huge bomb?
Yeah, not a lot of people showed up. Also, the other thing, they put the wrong start time on the thing. So people came
late. Did?
Yeah, and then they only saw like an hour of show.
So let's get into it, actually. The Bunkhouse Stampede, January 24th, 1988. So it's only about 2 months from Survivor Series, right?
It's Survivor Series Starrcade.
Yeah. Starrcade 87. It's taking place at the Nassau Coliseum was that Long Island?
Yeah, Long Island. Yeah.
Long Island, right? In New York. And the attendance was only 6,000 in attendance. I don't know how many people watched this on pay-per-view.
Not that many.
Okay, yeah, but that 6,000 is a low number. If you guys are wondering how low that is, think of like the AEW shows where they're currently drawing like, was it 10,000? The last pay-per-view they did, Revolution, and people were saying how that's kind of low at the Cow Palace or some shit. This is lower than that, right? However, if you actually see it, the crowd looks full. I will give them that.
They did do a good job of hiding the fact that nobody was there.
Yes.
The other thing is compared to the they're selling out Madison Square Garden and Nassau Coliseum all the time, WWF back then, and these guys only get 6,000. So
Yeah, and if you're wondering how many people Nassau Coliseum can sit, it's about um I guess more than double that, like 15.
Yeah,
They could probably put 15,000, or if it's like, I guess hockey can do close to 14,000. So that's pretty bad, 6,000. Um,
embarrassment, just like this
yeah,
company.
there's no video package intro, nothing. It just starts with Ivan Koloff, just no, Nikita Koloff making his way to the ring.
Mhm.
Bob Caudle and Jim Ross, they start doing the intros to this is the Bunkhouse Finals, third annual Bunkhouse Finals, and Tony Schiavone is the ring announcer. We go right to our first match. It is for the TV championship. It is beautiful Bobby Eaton with Cornette versus Nikita Koloff, who is a champion. They wrestle, and it goes to a time limit draw. When it does, the other Midnight Express, basically the entire Midnight Express beat the crap out of Koloff, and that's it. They beat the crap out of Nikita Koloff after the time limit draw. What did you think?
Well, this is the third time we've seen Nikita Koloff on pay-per-view. Every single time they have booked him to look so fucking stupid. Why the fuck is this guy going to a time limit draw with Bobby Eaton? Bobby Eaton looks like a fucking gas station attendant. I know he's a great wrestler. I know. Let's put that to the side.
He doesn't have muscle.
He looks like he works at a gas station. He looks like he
Like,
lost his shirt taking a shit in the gas station, and they told him he had to go wrestle.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, like Eddie Kingston if he lost some weight, that kind of a body, you
And,
know?
and like it's okay to tag team if he's with someone, like if it was like fucking Bobby Eaton and fucking I don't know anybody, Austin Theory, it's fine, whatever, right? It's
Mhm.
believable for him to hit. But dude, the fact that Nikita Koloff couldn't put this guy away in 20 minutes, 20 fucking minutes of this nothing happening match, and then the worst part about this entire show is every 5 minutes Tony Schiavone announces the time, and I want to fucking kill him because it's like it just keeps reminding you how much you're wasting your life watching this show. 5 minutes have passed. Why do you have to do that? You do that because you want to book a fucking time limit draw because you couldn't. Number one, you don't have enough show, and number two, you probably talking about Dusty. You couldn't convince either one of these guys to do the job, so you just do a time limit draw to waste everyone's time. You know,
Yeah.
it was a
Um,
fucking waste of time. I don't understand why they thought booking Nikita Koloff like this on these big shows. We're not watching the house shows. We don't have access to them. We're not watching the weekly shows. We have access to this for all of time, and he looks like a fucking idiot. And they put him in these long, stupid matches to make him look like shit. And it did him no favors. Honestly, Nikita Koloff should sue Dusty Rhodes. Or he should sue Cody Rhodes today.
I'll be honest, I don't think Nikita Koloff is that good.
He's not that good.
It's
But
not
listen,
even just the way he's booked. He's just not that good.
but can I?
You know?
But if you were booking Goldberg to do 20-minute time limit draws with fucking Bobby Eaton, yeah, he looked like shit too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. Good point. Yeah, he should have just been squashing people left and right. But like, man, I can't believe this guy's a good guy. I was like, I have no connection to him. He doesn't give me anything that makes me want
Oh,
to root for him. I just don't like him. I don't think he's terrible. Like, he's not like Nia Jax bad, but he's not like I don't need to see another Nikita Koloff
well,
match. Right?
you're out of luck because
I
you got
know.
a
Yeah,
lot more ahead of you.
I have a lot more head. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
no,
terrible.
it's just like if he did have anything special, they're not booking towards it. They're almost booking to make him look bad.
Yeah, you're right. I think so. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm reading that they said there was a dark match in this. It was like
Yes.
Sting and Jimmy Garvin winner, and
Yeah, why is that? Why is that
why
match
is
dark?
that not on this?
They didn't know what they had with Sting yet. I'll give Ric Flair credit. He knew, and he asked for Sting at the first Clash of Champions, which we'll talk about
Oh,
when we cover
wow. Okay.
WrestleMania.
Good for him. All right. Well, Bob Caudle and JR are there ringside, and they're just like talking, and then fucking so funny. A fucking referee walks right into the frame, just looks right at the camera. That part, I was like, "Oh, NWA, you never change. You're so fucking like unprofessional." We go to our second match. It is for the Western States Heritage Championships. Stupid ass fucking title. Barry Windham is your champion versus Larry Zbyszko with Baby Doll. There's a moment in the beginning where Baby Doll's right in Wyndham's face, and Wyndham, like, he's like holding back, and fucking like Baby Doll like poking fucking Wyndham in the chest, and Jim Ross goes, Wyndham should poke her in the chest. Bob Caudle doesn't say anything because it's just like,
Oh, you're laughing.
yeah, like what the fuck, man. Anyway, this match is okay. It's just whatever. There is a ref bump, and Baby Doll hands while the referee's down. Baby Doll hands Larry Zbyszko her high heel, and Larry Zbyszko uses it to hit Wyndham in the head, and he covers him for the win. Zbyszko is now your Western States Heritage Champion. What did you think?
Another boring fucking match. Another one where you're like, dude, Larry Zbyszko had like 2 months where he was a star, and that was when he turned on Bruno Sammartino in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, it's been downhill. This guy, he to me is like another Jeff Jarrett, Tommy Dreamer, stinks of failure. Okay, he was the world champion AWA when they go under in 2 years. And ever since I was a kid, he stunk of failure because I remember as a kid, like I get the old black and white magazines, like there's 3 major companies. There's WWE, there's NWA, and there's AWA, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, I kind of want to see AWA. And then it goes under with that guy as champion. It just goes under. And they're like, oh, AWA's done. And they took it out of the magazines. And he always, to me, had the stench. And it's just like, why would you have Barry Windham lose to this guy? You know, they just, and this is the problem with Tony. He don't know how to book baby faces. They just don't know. They constantly make them look stupid. Mm-hmm. And this was another match where they made this guy look stupid. Now, in fairness, Barry Windham turns heel pretty soon and joins the Horsemen. So maybe they knew that already. So they're like, well, who cares? You make him look like an idiot. But this match was a waste of time. And who gives a shit about this belt? Why are you defending the West? Hold on. If it's the Western States Championship, why is it changing hands in New York City?
Yeah, in Long Island. Yeah,
in Long Island. That's like that's like fucking the fucking New Jersey Championship being defended in fucking Japan.
What happened to the national championship?
I don't know. The only titles I really have kept track of are the U.S. title, the TV title. I'm talking about WCW, and the World Heavyweight title. I forget. I forget. There's 2. You know, there's 2 tag belts right now in NWA. Not now.
No, that's what I'm saying. Starrcade '87 is like just 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
They have the UWF Championship, right? Mm-hmm. They have the Television Championship, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the TV champion was the first match. That's right. Okay, so they have the United States Championship. That was defended 2 months ago by because Dusty's the fucking champion. Oh yeah, you know what? It's just whatever. They're just fucking.
The only titles I worry about when I watch these shows are the main tag belts, the U.S. belt, the TV belt, and the world belt. I mean, the U.S. belt. You could argue the U.S. belt is the most important belt. The only one still being defended.
Dude, there's too many belts. There's too many.
No, I'm saying the most important belt to come out of this company is the United States Championship.
Oh, currently, yes, because it's still technically there in in WWE. You know.
Yeah, also, John Cena's gonna fight for it at Mania.
Yeah, dude, there's too many belts. There's too many fucking belts in this NWA show. There's too many. Anyways, you know what? I'll give Larry Zbyszko this. I do like the way he kind of sells. He's just like that bumbling fucking heel, kind of like, oh shit, like I like that kind of stuff. I'll give him that. But not really a match it's not worth watching.
And then something weird happens. The tape cuts out, and then we cut, and it's Ric Flair.
Yeah, something weird happens. If you watch it on Peacock, by the way, the tape does cut out, and then you get it comes right. It goes to the third match, which is for the NWA Heavyweight Championships. Ric Flair, who's a champion, versus Road Warrior Animal, and it starts Road Warrior Hawk. Sorry, it just starts abruptly. It just go right into the match. No entrances, nothing. And there's a disclaimer on the bottom of it in Peacock that states, this is the best we can get. Like that, right? It just goes this is the best version we're going to get, or something like that. So
which I can see because I don't ever remember seeing this on VHS, and I don't remember ever seeing any footage of this. I don't even think they put this on best ofs until today. So this might be they might have not really saved the tape NWA. This is all they have. So
oh, okay. Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess somebody was trying to destroy this existence of this show, like,
I would have.
but it somehow survived. Anyway, this match is basically Hawk no selling everything, just everything. He gets his head rammed into the fucking metal barricades, no sells it, no selling chops, no selling everything, and Ric Flair just like fucking selling everything. And until Ric Flair hits a low blow on Hawk, and then from there, Ric Flair takes over. And if you ever want to see a match where Ric Flair is doing all right, like really carrying a match, it's this match.
Yeah,
Because Hawk doesn't give him shit at all. And Rick has to just kind of carry everything and just like when he has to make Hawk look good, he makes Hawk look good, right? By he makes him look good by just like going, oh God, he's constantly he gets like a suplex and he's like in agonizing pain. And then when Ric Flair has to take over, he does the whole like, I'm a now that I'm in charge, I'm just gonna be a shitty heel, just doing all this, like, just all the lowest kind of fucking the lowest, the dirtiest player shit. There is a ref bump, and then Ric Flair's bleeding all over the fucking place. And as after the ref bump, JJ Dillon comes in and hits Hawk with a chair. He no sells that. Ric Flair hits him with a chair. He no sells that.
sorry.
The referee finally wakes up, calls for a DQ, and yeah, and that's it. What did you think? Oh, Hawk wins by DQ. He doesn't win the belt. What did
Yeah.
you think?
Ric Flair's got to be the best wrestler to have the worst finishes on the planet.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a good way to just. Yeah, that's a good observation.
I
Absolutely.
mean, this was an okay match. I do think Hawk's biggest mistake was not breaking away from Animal, like right around this era, because I think he had the talent.
He gave me a Hawk in this match. Really gives off like Goldberg vibes.
Yeah.
He
Well, you know
looks
what?
like $1 million. People are super behind him, and he's just like not selling anything.
So you know what? In 1992, I read an old interview, and I didn't get it until now. Paul Heyman had just left WCW, and it was with Wade Keller, and he goes to Paul Heyman, if you had a company, who are the five, and you had unlimited budget, who are the five wrestlers you would hire? Guess who his first pick was?
Hawk.
Yeah, where he said, I would hire Road Warrior Hawk, and I'd make him my Hulk Hogan. If he is allowed to be Hulk Hogan, he'll become bigger than Hulk Hogan, but no one has ever allowed him to be that. So I would make him my Hulk Hogan. And then he said Sting would be my second baby face, and I forget the other three. But he was like, I would center the entire company. If I was on national TV and I had an unlimited budget, the entire company would be centered around Hawk, which I thought was very interesting.
It is, and the only thing was Hawk has had drug problems.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but but I think like maybe Heyman thought I could get him. I kind of feel like what Brock Lesnar wound up doing is what he probably would have had Hawk do.
Probably, yeah.
If he had a budget, but I always thought that was interesting, and I kind of do think like if Hawk had the right guidance and the right people believed in him, he could have probably been as big as Hulk Hogan, but nobody ever did. So he's dead. This match was fine, but dude, this is constantly again. I don't see the house show matches. The Ric Flair claims all his house show matches are so fucking great, which is easy to say. There's no footage. I don't see those matches, right? All I see is this shit. And every time I see one of his matches, it's fine, and then the finish is fucking garbage.
By the way, if you guys are wondering, it says presented in the most complete version available, right?
Which is fine. I imagine there's like a 4-hour version of this. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. I really thought this was a recap when they first started because I was like, why is it so early? It's like less than an hour into the show, it starts,
This was a really short show.
It is very weird. It's very short. It's very, dude,
but it doesn't feel
less. This on Peacock, it's less than 2 hours, but it feels forever.
It does.
It feels like Diamond. It's just like it feels like Ric Flair. It's forever. It just doesn't end this fucking show. So then they're putting up the cage so Cottle and JR. They do the credits. They roll the entire credits of everybody who produced this fucking shitbag
I
show.
still can't believe they're doing this in 1988.
Mm-hmm. And they go over the rules of the bunkhouse. And I didn't know the rules of the bunkhouse. They go over the rules, and it is the dumbest fucking set of rules I've ever heard. So there's gonna be 8 guys in this bunkhouse, and the way you win is you have to throw the guy over the top of the cage onto the floor or through the door. So it's like reverse steel cage match. You win when you go over the top or through the door. This time you lose if you go through the door. Okay. So that it sounds really dumb, right?
But because here's the deal: how are you supposed to, like, the only way that you could throw someone off the top of the cage is they have to climb, and if you get to the top of the cage, you might lose the match. Why would anyone voluntarily go to the top of the cage?
Yes, dude. Yes. Why would you be fucking hanging around by the door?
And it's not like you can because they have to help each other. So if you're pulling let's say you're pulling fucking, I don't know, Lex Luger up to the top, he's got to climb. Why would he climb?
Yeah,
just jump to the ground.
Now, here's the thing too. If it's a match against me and a child, you can make the argument, I'm gonna pick up the fucking kid in a fireman's carry and climb up to the top to throw him over.
Let's say Marco Stunt was in the match.
Yeah, you could do that with Marco Stunt. I'll buy that. But these guys are all huge fucking guys. You can't carry them anywhere near the top of the rope unless they voluntarily go up there. And this is just fucking... Okay, so if you guys are thinking maybe they just wanted to lose the match. No, they keep mentioning in this show that the winner of this Bunkhouse Stampede Finals gets $500,000. So if you make this realistic, and if you're in this match, and if you can win, you get $500,000. Why would I go anywhere near the fucking top of the cage? It just makes no fucking sense. This is the stupidest thing. This is stupider than seeing Paul Jones dressed up as a cowboy, which, yes, he's...
Oh, God, I forgot he was in this
I thought
match.
This guy was gone. You lied to me. He was back in this stupid fucking stuff.
Dude, when he showed up,
oh my God.
When he showed up, I got so mad.
Dude, and he was just... Why is he dressed like a cowboy now?
Because it's the bunkhouse. That's the only thing that makes sense about this show, that he dressed like a cowboy.
Okay, so the cage is set up. Dusty Rhodes is the first one out. They say he won the wild card spot to get into these finals. And they mentioned how Dusty has won the 2 previous bunkhouses. Then Tully comes in, then Ivan Koloff, then Warlord, then Arn Anderson, Lex Luger, the Barbarian, Road Warrior Animal, who they mentioned has won the most Bunkhouse Stampede matches in the month of December. So I'm guessing you know how they say this is the finals? So I'm guessing there was some kind of tournament.
I guess you had to win a lot of bunkhouses.
Yeah, I guess if you want to qualify for the Royal Rumble, you have to win a match first. Remember when WWE used to do that?
But this would be you have to win Royal Rumbles to qualify for the Royal Rumble.
No, I think maybe they were regular matches.
No, they weren't, because I listened to Arn Anderson's podcast. They were these things.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So to get into the Bunkhouse Stampede Finals, you had to win previous actual Bunkhouse Stampede matches in a cage. Yes. That's the stupidest.
Dusty Rhodes put them ever. I think the reason why he did this was he's well, people like steel cages, and I gotta book these 8 guys I don't know what to do with, so I'll just put these 8 guys in the fucking cage, and then you kill a half hour or even 40 minutes of the house show, and then you don't have to worry about those 8 guys. I think that's the reason he did it.
I think you're right. These matches were actual steel cage matches.
Yeah. Arn Anderson said it was a pain in the ass doing them. I listened to his podcast. Yeah, I was shocked at the number of bunkhouses Arn Anderson had to do from 85 to 88. It's they just would have these all over the. Like I said, it's like having a Royal Rumble all year long. There's a Royal Rumble happening at a house.
Yeah, no, you got to win a Royal Rumble to get into the Royal Rumble. That's what.
So you just have 30 Royal Rumbles all year. 1 a week. Why not?
But that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it's you got to win a ladder match to get into this ladder.
You got to win a Hell in a Cell to be in the Hell in a Cell.
Dude, I can't believe how was this company able to survive up to 1988? Like, how did they even get this far?
I mean, I think
Like, we've been watching Starcade since like 1983, so if we go up to 1988. That's like already 5 years, right? And it's like I don't think we gave like any positive rating reviews for any of the Starcade so far,
well,
right?
I think they didn't know how to book big shows. I've seen some TV angles and I've seen some interviews that are pretty good. So like
Oh, this is
I can
ridiculous.
see the TV show getting people into the house shows.
It's
I don't know.
crazy.
I don't.
It's
This,
crazy.
this is horrible.
I guess you could say the same thing about TNA. Probably, you're like, how are they getting this far with
If
just
you
this
just
much
watch, yeah,
garbage?
if you just watch Bound for Glory, you're like, how are this many Bound for Glories?
Yeah, yeah. You might just be like, how are they not losing money? How are they not? I feel like if I behaved this way or if I gave this kind of performance at like, let's say, my job, I think I would be fired before like year five.
The other thing we're not seeing because they haven't had one yet on pay per view. And I was listening to an interview with Meltzer, and Meltzer was like, there was a rumor they were going to do War Games in the summer of '87 as the first big pay per view, and that's what they should have done. And I agree. The War Game matches drew a lot, and those were actually really good.
I see. All right.
War
Well,
Game, the War Games were really good over the summer. There was a tape. They didn't put it out on. They put out a home video, but there was like a Great American Bash '87 where the War Games match is the main event. And I remember as a kid being like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen." So I think Dusty kind of coasted on War Games, but they had War Games at every house show too. There's like War Games all over.
these are all steel cage matches.
Yeah, that's
They're
he
not like
always goes
they're
to steel.
fancy names. They're fancy names for steel cage matches. You know,
They
like
always
War
go to
Games
the
is a
steel
steel cage
cage
match.
match. This company,
Bunkhouse Brawl, Bunkhouse Stampede is a steel cage match.
War
It's,
Games.
oh my god, this is like you got to win a battle royal to get into the Royal Rumble. Like it's just like this is stupid. This is fucking dumb.
But
Oh,
this match was horrible. Usually
so
I like clusterfucks like this. I fucking hated this match.
this one, okay, yeah, we'll tell you. Okay, it's
Yeah,
terrible. I'm
break
gonna
it
get
down,
into it.
Andrew D, bro.
Ivan Koloff bleeds pretty much right away. Everyone's gonna be
Everyone's
bleeding.
bleeding. Everyone's bleeding.
Everyone's bleeding. So if you're keeping track, if you're keeping score, there's only 4 matches on this pay per view, and 2 of the matches there's ref bumps, and 2 of the matches there's bleeding. So it's still half the matches have blood and fucking ref bumps. We're digressing. They have not changed since 1983. It's just the same bullshit. Ref bumps and bleeding. It's just like nothing changes. And so it's fucking dumb. It's just dumb. Everyone's just like fighting. There's no wrestling at all. It's just fighting, right? Punching and kicking and stuff. Ivan Koloff is the first one to get thrown out of this match. He stupidly somehow climbs up to the top and fucking Animal hits him and he fucking falls off the top rope. As we mentioned, I don't know why you're climbing up to the top. Like, why are you actively going? You're not climbing to the top rope. He's climbing to the top of the cage and actively going to the other side of the cage.
Yeah.
Like, Animal didn't pull him over there. He went there and then Animal hit him and he fell. I don't know why that's happening, but that's happening.
Because there's no logical way if his elimination is you got to go over the top. There's no logical way for him to do it unless he just goes there.
Yeah, exactly. But that's so stupid, right? It's just so dumb. Fans are kind of into this somehow, right? But anyway,
I mean, it's they don't know what we know. I mean,
I guess
they
I
probably
guess
like,
logic.
I like the bleeding, I like the
It's,
cage.
it's also Long Island, so
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta dial the intelligence back a little bit. Road Warrior Animal and Warlord, they're fighting by the door, and this one kind of makes more sense because they're both trying to shove one of them out the door, and then somebody fucking kicks Animal in the head, and they both fucking go falling out. I think it might have been Lex Luger who kicked Animal, but they're both out next. Animal and Warlord are out next. Then Lex Luger and Arn Anderson are fighting by the door as well. And when Tully Blanchard stupidly just decides to come over there as well, right? Now all 3 of them are just fighting by the door, and they all just fucking all like fall out. All 3 of them are out. So that's it. There's down to 2 people. By the way, the beginning of this match, nobody gives a fuck. There's like really no crowd reaction until there's this point where this is before any elimination. Nobody you could hear the audience. They're just not really that into it until Dusty Rhodes whips out one of those fucking weightlifting belts, and he just starts whipping everybody, and it gets the crowd into a frenzy.
American Dream. Yeah.
And other people use the belt as well, showing that there's no disqualification in these matches, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no weapons are allowed. They established that very early on. So it made no sense to me at all when Barbarian and Dusty Rhodes were in the ring and Paul Jones secretly gives Barbarian a pair of brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Why did he have to secretly give it to him? Weapons are allowed in this match. Why didn't Barbarian just have them from the beginning?
Because they're idiots.
Yeah, can you imagine? Okay, so weapons are allowed. If he had the brass knucks just from the beginning, boom, 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 everybody just knock everybody in the fucking head, and then just start dragging them out one at a time. Instead, he has to wait until he's alone with Dusty Rhodes, and then he fucking secretly gives it. It's just dumb. It just makes no sense.
Because
Anyway,
they don't know, because they only know their old school ways. That's all they know.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all they know.
Because they know, oh, when you have a weapon and you're a heel, you gotta secretly get it from your manager. Like, oh, but it's legal. No, it doesn't matter. If you're a bad guy, you have to secretly get it from your manager. That's the whole point. It's just like, all right, whatever. Barbarian uses on Dusty Rhodes and stuff. Doesn't fucking matter. They somehow stupidly both end up at the top of the fucking cage. Barbarian, once again, he's on the other side of the cage for some fucking reason. And Dusty Rhodes hits the bionic elbow. Barbarian falls out. Dusty wins. Booker of the Year for this fucking
thing. He wins Booker of the Year with the
he wins the giant ugly cowboy boot. The super ugly, just like giant cowboy boot. It looks so fucking stupid. The crowd doesn't even care about this fucking thing. I would say this match to me, I think maybe worse than Carlos Colon versus Abdul the Butcher.
No, I still the visual of him licking the blood is still, but yes, it's right up there.
This one's longer. This match is longer than that match, so it's already minus. And at least that match kind of makes sense logically. This match makes no sense at all.
Yeah, there's this famous, when we get to it, Halloween Havoc 91. There's a cage match with a it's like 4-on-4 cage match with a electric chair in the middle. And everyone always goes like, that's by far the worst thing WCW and WWE has ever done. No. It's this match. I've seen that match. It's not that bad. When we get to it, you're going to agree with me. It's not that bad.
I'm gonna probably agree with you because I am legit in my opinion. This is the worst match we've seen so far.
This is way worse. I'll tell you why.
To me, it's worse than Carlos Colon versus Abdul Butcher.
I'll tell you why this is better than the electric. Is it stupid to put? Spoiler: Abdullah the Butcher gets put in the steel in the electric chair, and then he dies, and that's how the match ends. Is it stupid to put a guy in an electric chair? Yes, but at least that's a logical goal to go for. There's a chair. We got to get someone in that chair, right? That's a logical goal to go for. There is no logic in climbing up to the top of a cage to get eliminated. There's no fucking logic in this match. It's fucking horrendous. And the way the announcers talk about Dusty Rhodes, about how he did it comes across so bad when you know he booked himself to win. Like, it comes across so egotistical.
Dude, he wins it, and they talk about how he came out of retirement and shit like that. And there's like, dude, he booked this whole fucking thing. Like,
he booked this dumb fucking thing to make him look good.
Yeah.
This is when Tully Blanchard kind of soured on Dusty. According to Tony Schiavone, in the back, Tully Blanchard was like, I think the main event of next year's Starrcade should be Dusty Rhodes versus Dusty Rhodes, and the winner is Dusty Rhodes, because that's clearly all this guy wants to book.
Yeah, this was awful, man.
This was really, and you know what? He gets fired at the end of the year for, and I'll talk about that when we get to Starrcade 88. And I think it was
a whole year.
Well, they said no more blood on TBS, no more blood whatsoever, and he turned the Road Warriors heel.
Yes,
and they put the spike in his eye, and TNT TBS was like, "Get this fucking guy out of here."
Yeah, no, I remember that. But I can't believe it took a fucking over. Dude, if I was in charge and I saw this fucking horse shit, I would have been like, "You're fired."
Yeah, but you know what?
I would have been like, "You're fired, dude."
This is the thing, and this is the thing that I don't like with AEW the blood. It's like, this guy was given a directive. He's awful at his job, but he's able to keep it. Just don't bleed anymore on national TV. He couldn't do that because all he knows is one fucking trick. And it's the same thing now with Jon Moxley. If you
It's
tell John
so
Moxley that to
funny.
believe,
It's like not only he just like he's bad at his job. That alone should be requirements of you getting fired. But
no,
he's still somehow able to keep it, and they just give him like one more thing. Also, just like no more blood, and he's just like, sorry, that doesn't work for me, brother.
yeah, oh no, we're bleeding all over the place this next pay
Like,
per view.
dude, this like legit. This to me, it's got to be the worst thing I've seen. It's so long. It's so fucking long, right? It's like this match is. Let me see how fucking long it is. It's 26 minutes long, dude. That's a fucking long match, right? 26 minutes long. There's no wrestling at all. Like no wrestling. It's no wrestling moves. It makes no sense logically, and there's so much talent in this ring, and all this talent is being wasted. At least in Starrcade 83, Abdul the Butcher and Carlos Colon, which is one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my entire life. At least it's only 4 minutes and 30 seconds, right? This one's fucking 26. This is atrocious, you know? This that I'm marking this worst match I've ever seen.
Yeah, horrible.
Terrible.
And
Don't watch
probably
Bunkhouse Stampede. Don't watch it at all.
the worst pay per view we've seen yet. And
Yeah.
but you know what? It's good for one thing. It created the Royal Rumble, which
Is that the legacy? Yeah.
we still are watching to this day. And it's one of my favorite pay per view of the year. And next week we're going to cover the first Royal Rumble, which takes place at the exact same time as this show.
Really?
Yeah, they went head to head again, but it was on USA for free. The Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we're going to cover that.
God.
Should be a lot of fun. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, of course, wins the first Rumble. Have you ever seen the first Rumble?
I have not. I can't wait to watch it.
It's
I might even watch it. I might even watch it today.
It's a weird match because you can tell nobody knows what to do. Like they're all like learning how, like we know everyone knows the tricks now. There's all these spots we know and certain.
Yeah.
They don't. Yeah. There's no like, what do we do? It's just kind of like Wild Wild West, but it's kind of fun to see. Again, just like Survivor Series, they're figuring it out on live TV as they go. So
I just pulled it up. It's a short show as well.
Yeah. So guys, we'll be covering that. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok, Ray Goots Comedy. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Ray Goots. And keep on. Don't forget, we're gonna have the live show with the Laps fan. They make it. Live show with the Laps fan. WrestleMania week. The night of, you can see more info on that. Conrad Thompson earlier in the week announced the lineup for the show. So yeah, we're working with him as well. So things are going good. Andrew Lee, exciting couple weeks ahead.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be exciting. It can only go up from here.
So yeah, so here's the lineup for the next 4 weeks. I always like to give you a preview. Next week, Royal Rumble 88. The week after, WrestleMania 4. The week after that, Great American Bash 88. And then the week after that, the first SummerSlam 88.
Sounds good, bro.
Sounds good, guys. Guys, we'll see you next week because it's time to rumble. It's time for the Royal Rumble. We'll see you there.